If you ever caught yourself saying, "I'm turning into my parents," or wondered why you instinctively shut down during arguments, or why you crave validation from people who can't give it, what if I told you the answers to these questions aren't found in your willpower, but in the first 5 years of your life? Before you could form complete sentences, your brain was already writing the script for the person you are today. Today, we are peeling back the layers of the psyche to look at the invisible blueprint, how childhood experiences shape adult behavior. Let's start with the hardware, your brain. When you are born, your brain has over 100 billion neurons. But here's the kicker, they aren't fully connected yet. Think of a newborn's brain like a fresh snow-covered mountain. Every experience, being fed, being held, being ignored, is like a skier going down that mountain. The first time, the skier makes a small path. The second time, the skier follows that same path because it's easier. By the time you are a child, those paths become deep grooves. In neuroscience, we call this neuroplasticity. Hebb's law famously states, neurons that fire together, wire together. If a child grows up in a calm, loving environment, their brain wires pathways for safety and trust. If a child grows up in a volatile, unpredictable environment, their brain wires pathways for hypervigilance and anxiety. By adulthood, you aren't consciously choosing these reactions. You are just skiing down the pre-existing grooves in your brain. This brings us to the most important psychological model for this topic, attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth. They discovered that the way your caregiver responded to your need created one of 4 attachment styles, which you carry into every adult relationship you have. Let's break them down. First, secure attachment, or the healthy blueprint. This happens when a caregiver is consistently responsive. When you cry, someone comes. When you're scared, you are soothed. As an adult, you find it easy to get close to others. You don't worry about being abandoned, and you don't fear intimacy. You are the safe harbor for yourself and others. Second, anxious attachment, or the clingy blueprint. This happens when care is inconsistent. Sometimes mom is loving, sometimes she's checked out. The child learns, I have to act out or cling on to get attention. As an adult, you might fear your partner doesn't love you. You might need constant reassurance. You interpret silence as rejection. This stems from the childhood lesson that love is unreliable. Third, avoidant attachment, or the distant blueprint. This happens when caregivers are dismissive or distant. The child hears, stop crying, or toughen up. The child learns, my needs don't matter. I can only rely on myself. As an adult, you value independence above all else. You see intimacy as a loss of freedom. You might shut down during conflict because you learned early on that emotional expression is unsafe. Fourth, disorganized attachment, or the fearful blueprint. This often stems from trauma or abuse. The caregiver is both a source of comfort and a source of fear. The child is stuck in a paradox. As an adult, this can lead to chaotic relationships. You crave love but push it away, fearing that getting close will hurt you. Beyond attachment, childhood creates our core beliefs. Psychologists often call this the inner child. It sounds a bit woo-woo, but it's a powerful metaphor. The inner child is a part of your subconscious that still holds the memories and emotions of your past. If you were criticized constantly as a child, your inner child might have formed the belief, I am not good enough. Now, as an adult, you might become a workaholic trying to prove your worth, or you might self-sabotage because deep down, you don't believe you deserve success. If you were neglected, your inner child might believe, my feelings don't matter. Now, as an adult, you might be a chronic people pleaser. You say yes when you want to say no, because disagreeing feels as terrifying to your nervous system today as it did when you were 5 years old. We aren't just adults. We are children wearing adult bodies, navigating a world that reminds us of our past wounds. Now, this might all sound a bit deterministic. Are we just robots doomed by our diapers? Absolutely not. The famous psychologist Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The goal of understanding this isn't to blame our parents. They were likely operating on their own childhood blueprints. The goal is awareness, and awareness is the greatest agent for change. Here is how you start to break the cycle. First, identify the trigger. When you have a massive emotional reaction to something small, like a partner being 10 minutes late, ask yourself, is this about the 10 minutes, or is this about the time I was left waiting as a child? Separate the past from the present. Second, practice reparenting. This is a therapeutic technique. When your inner child feels scared or angry, talk to yourself the way you needed to be talked back then. If you messed up at work, Instead of the critical parent voice saying, "You're such a failure," use a gentle parent voice. "You made a mistake. That's okay. You are human. Let's fix it." Third, create new neural pathways. Remember the skier? You can create new paths. It's hard at first, but choosing vulnerability, choosing to trust, or choosing to set a boundary will slowly carve a new groove in your brain. Your childhood is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. The patterns you developed were survival strategies. They kept you safe then, but you don't need them to survive anymore. You are no longer trapped in that house, that classroom, or that dynamic. You have the power, as an adult, to look at that blueprint and say, "I like this wall, but I'm going to move this door. I'm going to build a new window." By understanding how your past shaped you, you take the pen back from the ghost of your childhood and start writing your own story. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, please hit that like button. It helps this message reach more people who need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the human mind. I'll see you in the next one.